Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, B Funk, thinking right out here in the lab. What I do for you. I got something nice for you today. Let's do this thing. Right thinking, excuse me. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking, mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life, and that's what it is for me. Through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka Gnosis, or know thyself tidbit. All right? Or my mission that I'm on is that all right thinkers know thyself by experiencing Gnosis. Today's lesson. All right. But if you're a right thinker, your goal is to experience Gnosis, aka know thyself. So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you had an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I try to do for you daily. I got you. A person who knows not, and knows not that they know not, is foolish. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. That's good. Why? I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here too. Wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and always to Mayat be true. We're in chapter, I think, 6 now. Yep. You see this guy right here? Now, we know him as Tahuti, okay? Thoughts, some people call them Hermes, Trismegistus, Mercury. Everybody in religious concept got one of these guys. He's the concept of God's mind, okay? He's the brain of God, okay? He's the intellect, he's the wisdom, he's the knowledge, he knows all, okay? Let's talk about that. And what we're going to learn now about right thinkers, let's talk about Gnosis leads to right thinking, or Gnosis or thought. To the supreme divinity, God, Gnosis is what has no beginning. Rather, Gnosis do afford us the first beginning of its God being known. I keep on explaining to you, all my right thinkers. You can't believe in God. You have to experience God. That's how I said got the true meaning from Ra. By what? Not communicating that way, this way. Okay, so let's talk about and the definition of gnosis. What does gnosis mean? It's spelled Gnosis. It means knowing something intuitively without having to think about it. What the what? Yeah, let me see if I can break it down a little more so you can understand it. But this is what I've been trying to get you to understand. Having knowledge of something. Let me get to the lesson. Having information is having knowledge are not necessarily the same thing. This is the part I like. I like this lesson. Now I'm gonna stop pretty much at every paragraph because it's something that I can clarify, hopefully break down for you so I can make it easy for you to understand. But having information and having knowledge are not necessarily the same thing. Here we go. Why? Because they are two forms of knowledge. What you mean? I'm glad you asked. You have direct knowledge and then you have indirect knowledge. What are you talking? Again, I got you. Indirect knowledge is something what that you learn. Books. All my indirect knowledge comes from all the books that I can learn from, that I can read and understand and learn and get education and have some knowledge of things out of the books. Okay, you learn and you can convince. Excuse me, you are convinced of what intellectually direct knowledge. Now that's indirect knowledge gives you intellect. Direct knowledge is, on the other hand, is something you have to experience. The mystical experience, spiritual enlightenment. These are the things that you have to have for yourself. I can't explain it. They say God is unexplainable. That's why, because I can talk till I get blue in the face about my experience about God. If you haven't had one, it's like I'm speaking another language. I only speak one, English. Okay, so I try to make it clear to you so you can understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. But remember, direct knowledge is something you experience directly. So that's called wisdom. That's how you know why I experienced it. I only teach that knowledge. I throw around the indirect. Why? Because I got it. So yeah, but the real stuff I try to tell you direct. Why? I know what I'm talking about when I'm speaking to you about what I know. My gnosis. Okay, that's what we experience it. And to know thyself is having gnosis. What? Of self. Why? Through experience oneness with God for yourself. It is something which requires what? No thinking to be understood. You just know it. That's what our sets represents. The intuitive wisdom from within. Why? Your body has memory. Your mind, your spirit has memory. Okay? It is being. It just is. Young people, it is what it is. They didn't have a clue, but because it sounds good. But the meaning, if you get the meaning, yeah, it is what it is. Let's keeping it real. Knowing, having knowledge as opposed to what? Learning or thinking about knowledge. One may learn about a flower. Perfect example. Here we go. Now we're going to break the analogy down for you. One may know about a flower by how? By reading, but one does not become the flower. To know something intuitionally, I mean, instinctive, is just there, is in fact to become what? It within one's consciousness. You have to understand the intricate workings of whatever it is. You got to become conscious of it. In order for the gnosis, here you go, for that to occur, the order for gnosis to occur, what? Excuse me, is necessary to become identified with what? With sub-object of the study. If you're studying God, and that's what I've been doing, you got to become one with the aspects of God, and that's how you will find him. He's not one. No, he's aspects that once you put them all together, you get the whole. That's the concept. And if you're studying, that's how it is. That's what gnosis is. What? Through experience, living daily. One may accomplish what? This through concentrated thought and, more important, meditation. I got to get to this one. Why? My next book, I got meditation. I just put my book out. Why? Why the religious don't practice meditation? I got a buddy who's a Muslim. They don't practice meditation. I'm like, why not? If you want to get to Allah, you want to get to Jesus, wouldn't you think that you want to communicate with him up here through meditation? That's how I got to God. So I'm going to put that into my next lesson. But however, there are millions of what? Individual objects in the universe. And so to try to become with all of them, what? To become one with each of them would take a very, at least millions of lifetimes. Reincarnation over and over. Some of us have done that, still they figure that out. So, but the simpler way, there we go. There is a way to achieve supreme wisdom, aka Tehuti, becoming conscious of God with your conscious, with his conscious. And Tehuti represents that. Now, by what? Identifying, becoming one with who? Tehuti. The consciousness with what? Said netter, aka God, which is the aspect, which is what? The brain. Who is the source of what? All objects in existence. When you have gnosis, knowledge of self, you know all conceptually. Why? you become one with what? All existence, having all knowledge of what? All things. You obtain all power. You become omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. That's God attributions of God. That's the goal of human beings. We are spiritual beings having a human experience for that purpose so that we can discover Gnosis and know thyself. So when the physical body is over, you go back that way. Why? Because you know who you are. You can't go home. Okay, if you don't know who you are, how you know how to go home? Where's home? I used to live at 396 Bergen Street. Ain't there no more. 797 322 Belmont Avenue. Ain't there no more. 797 South 18th Street ain't there no more. So you can't go back to them houses. So that's the physical house. No, we talking about this spiritual house in which you come from. In order to get back, you have to have knowledge of self. That's the ticket. I'm trying to explain it to my right thing because they got a bunch of other stuff going on. I know that. I'm just giving you one. There's a few ways to get to the top. I know one. Why? I've done it. Moving on. Much in the world, what is information? We in the age of information. We just came out of the age of secrecy. Everybody, well, hide the secret, hidden message, hidden symbolic knowledge. No! Information now. Whatever you had in secret, it's no longer a secret. Everybody know what you do. Masons, all of y'all who got occults, they know everything. Why? Because it's written down. The computer got it. It's all online everywhere. Moving on. But that's the concept. But again, information is good, but all information ain't good information. Now you got to have what? Discernment to figure out who's telling me the truth, who give me a bunch of BS, because there's a lot of that going on. Moving on. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I just do what I do. But information, when we have been told, much is what? Much is information gathered by what? Our senses, the body, the five senses, which are specially made to gather what? Information. Why? Because the information received is up here. It can only see, hear, smell, taste what the body gives to it. But it also functions on its own accord. That's what you got to understand. And we believe to what? Within the physical, excuse me, wait a minute. You got information. Our bodies are made to gather information from this physical realm to the extent that they can, as far as you can go. See, smell, taste, hear, touch. That's it. Thinking, the thought can go further. And this form the basis of what we believe to what be real and true. This process constitutes our psychological conditioning. Are you ignorant or are you intelligent? Conditioning into what? Certain modes of behavior. If you're ignorant, lower nature, you're going to do bad things. If you're higher nature, you're going to do good things. Simple as that. And you have certain beliefs. We have belief systems set up for that purpose. Again, and this is the information of what? A limited intellect. However, if our senses were what? Designed differently. For example, and we are humans. We have conscious. We have instincts. We have our normal instincts, and most of our sexual instincts is derived from the waist down, hence lower nature. Watch this. That's the animal, what you call beastly nature. That's normal. Watch this. But it's designed differently. For example, if we had the eyesight of an owl or a peregrine falcon, we can see a whole lot different, and we would view the world a little different. That's what they're showing you. And what if we had the canine sense, the smell of the dog and the hearing of a bat? Our perceptions of the world would be quite different. And I agree 100%. It makes sense. So understand that our perceptions would lead to what? Different beliefs about what? The world is therefore what? Our own experiences would be what? Quite different. God is the same, but different for everybody who experiences it. Why? Because you have your own individual thought process, mindset, and experiences that govern you in the physical world. But watch this. Similarly, if we would see things, aka matter, the way a particle accelerator or an electron microscope sees it, we would live in a world of what? Pure energy, light beings. Just get that lesson too. Why? Because energy generates light. Out of darkness comes the light. So pure energy held together by what? That which is again unseen. They call it dark matter. Okay, but consciousness, pure. It's already ahead of whatever we coming in for. Why? He laid the foundation for it. That's why. So therefore, what? In order to know God, that is to have what? Gnosis, which is what? Experimental knowledge of the transcendent and divine essence of anything. That means you will have to have your own but God moment, your own epiphany about God mentally. You have that life. It don't always have to be life-saving. Oh, God saved me. Okay, but it shouldn't take that for you to recognize God. Okay, that's what I'm saying. But a lot of people, that's what it takes. Moving on. I say studying, following spiritual discipline, living right, doing certain things, you ain't got no problems. Moving on. What happens? When you do become one with the essence of everything, which is God, we must be able to connect with its divine essence in order to perceive. What that means? It means connecting with our creator. How can you do that? Put a pin right here. That's my point right here. All religious people talk about God, 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 but y'all don't say how to get to him. I tell you, sit down. God tell you what, still yourself and know that I'm God. The only way you're going to get his attention, the only way you can connect with him is to do just that. And that's called meditation. That's why the yogis are so spiritually enhanced. Why? Because they done made the communion with God with themselves. They need a whole bunch of nonsense. They live, do, and be, and they're fine. So whatever God you call it, I just did a lesson about, how you know you serving a right now God. If the God that you claiming and serving, whatever you're doing to him, if he's not giving you what you need when you need it, he ain't the God that you need to be serving. Why? He ain't the right now God. You should serve a right now God. Sorry about that. I get a little excited. I think about my pastor because that's his thing. He being blessed on a regular basis. But the dude, so am I. Yeah, I'm living. I get it. I understand it. So understand that when you're doing the right thing, good things happen. It's just that simple. Moving on. Now, you have to be able to connect to God. And the only way you can do that is through meditation. Moving on. I don't care what somebody say, but even think. I know how I did it. So that's the only way I can tell you. I know that much. And I keep hearing about connect with God, connect with God. How? Through prayer? No! Through meditating, listening to him. When you pray, you're talking. I pray every day. I'm on a prayer line every week. I'm a dedicated prayer warrior. Serious. Any other essence that may be compiled by the use of what? Senses or other information gathered by the body devices will only be illusions. Anything of this physical world is an illusion. In order to perceive absolute, non-changing truth, come on, we must become one with that absolute truth. Live it, think it, be it, learn it, manifest it. That's what you have to do. And I see good Jews, Muslim, Christians doing just that. I got nothing but respect for them. Why? That's how it's done. It's the ones who and don't do it. I got an issue with hypocrites. So understand that. But I do what I do. I don't have to worry about what you do or don't do. I can see it. I experience for myself what I'm trying to tell you, what you can do for yourself. That's all. This is the essence of our life journey home. We're spiritual beings come here to have a human experience so we can make it home. What? Learn a lesson about life. Who? To know who you are so to get back where you come from. All easy to understand. The psycho-spiritual journey. It's a mental thing. Along with the physical. You can't speed up time. The physical world, we're here in the third dimension. We got to deal with 24 hours in a day. We got to deal with going through life cycle, going to work, taking care of business. So it's not no different than nobody else, but it's how you do it, your personal self that makes the difference. And the absolute experience that once you have it of your divine, with your divine nature, will provide you with a state of supreme peace. We know it as Hotep. Good Christians, they get blissed out. Why? They found Christ. They connected with Christ in their mind and through their daily activities. That's the only way it can be done. So we will have completed a circuit. Come what? Full circle. That's the dot in the middle. Then you circumscribe yourself and keep your due bounds and keep yourself in harmony with one's higher self. This is all Masonic concept, and I know it worked. Why? They've been practicing for thousands of years, but they keep it hidden. They don't want you to know that. It's right there. I got the books right here. I've been teaching it for years. More important, I've been living it. If you Masons live your Masonic concepts, you would be better men. That's what the whole goal is. I know that. How many of y'all became better men after becoming a Mason other than just want to wear the ring and tell everybody I'm this, I'm that? How did your life change? Because that's supposed to do, change your life. Moving on. Sorry about that. Get a little touchy about that. But when you come full circle from who? I'm in, the hidden one, which is hidden, again, and coming to the form of reality, again, spiritual beings having human experience from where all human souls come where? To earth, which is Geb. And when you manifest in the physical reality world, then what? Spirit goes to matter, matter goes back to spirit. We come from spirit to matter. Now we got to go back to matter. Back to spirit. That's Amen. We're in Geb right now. And let's break it down to you. How do you make that happen? To do this, ding, 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 ding. Again, I love when they questions they set and they answer for you. So if you follow along, you get an answer to the questions that you have. So it shouldn't be a whole bunch of, no, I'm breaking it down as we go. That's my point. Now, how do you become Amen from Geb? To become Geb, it's going to be godlike. That's what we do as humans, become godlike. Why? In action and in thought. Even while still alive, the true way to know God, here we go, is to be looking where? Up there, no, within, and not out. Why? Because our deepest self is God, regardless of your sex, race, creed, even your religion. Therefore, in order to really truly know God, it is necessary to be God. In the Egyptian story of Sinuhe, the king who is a symbol of what? A perfected human being. Why? He have knowledge of self. He's God conscious. He's God-like. Why? In his actions and his deeds while in the physical world. And he's like Haru is said to have what? Flown to heaven. Sound like Enoch. Flown to heaven and united with the sun disk, the divine body of the king, merging with its maker. This is sorry about that, I'm about to freak out. I've been trying to get you to understand that when you go to the halls of Mayat, you're going to merge with Asar. You're going to sit at him, and you're light as a feather, so you're going to merge right in with him. You become one, and you go home with God. That's the concept that I've been teaching. That's the concept that the Egyptians have been practicing for thousands of years. Everybody took a piece of it, and made it this, made it that. I'm about to break down the Hindu concept for you right quick, or the Indian version. This is my book. I'm tearing this book up. Right here, you see one is the lady with the feather. Who is that? If you know me, you know that's my favorite goddess. That's Mayat. And in the Indian form, you got a female goddess, and she represents wisdom and truth, but she rides a white swan. Okay, let's go right this way quick and find this. Now, in the Egyptian system, the faculty of wisdom is symbolized by the ibis bird. That's Tehuti. He's got two signs, the ibis bird and the baboon. And both of them have special qualities which represents him. I ain't going over that, did that before, broke it down for you. So let's go to the next concept. Now, the faculty of truth is symbolized by the feather of Mayat, of the ibis bird. In the Indian philosophical system, watch this, the goddess of wisdom, Saraswati, is often shown seated on a white swan. The ibis of Egypt and the swan in India are both white in plumage. And you see Maya's feather, it don't move. I love that. Watch this. But it's often shown, she's okay where we at, signifying what? Purity of consciousness. Whenever you see white without a blemish, they consider that to be purity. Okay, I get it. I understand. Now, purity of consciousness means thought permeated with what? Wisdom, truth, and righteousness. Those are qualities that you exhibit through your daily lifestyle. And for the sake of clarity, wrap this up. Excuse me. From here on, the Supreme Being will be referred to more commonly as God, spelled with all capital letters, which all capital letters, and all other aspects, the divine principles, all elements of the gods, or projections of the Supreme Being, the One, will be referred to as gods and goddesses with the little letters like that, the big G, little g concept. That's where y'all got that from. But that's the lesson, and I hope you understood it. Then I'm going into dun, 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 dun. We did it before, but I want to revisit symbols, okay? Signs and symbols. All right? Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Right thinkers, in closing, may you all let it be 100 and me 100 minus a day. So I never know that right thinkers like you passed away. I'll be back. I got more.